Happy Thursday, YouTube. I hope you guys are enjoying it. For me, I've had a great week. It's been raining cats and dogs here in Northern California, but I've been enjoying it, chilling with my family, hanging out with friends. But today I wanted to talk about something that a lot of you guys don't talk about, especially if you're in the insurance business, and that is claims, paying claims. For me, after 18 years of selling insurance, making a living as a salesperson, sometimes I fail to highlight the power of paying claims. And for 18 years, that's exactly what I've done. I paid thousands of claims with the carriers that I've represented in the millions of dollars. And if you're watching my channel here today and you're wondering, oh, insurance, man, they never pay. And I understand that a lot of folks don't like insurance companies because they feel they don't pay. But let me tell you something. With final expense life insurance, if there's a contract in paper, they have to pay. And sometimes a lot of folks get that mixed up. Yes, there's some contestability periods, some probationary periods, but overall, if you are honest and you purchase insurance under the premise, especially with final expense, those claims will be paid. And for myself, over all these years, I've seen thousands of claims paid. And recently, I just started sharing stories on my TikTok about claims that we've paid. The families like yours and mine, real life scenarios of how insurance claims help. And for me, one of the first claims that I paid in the early years of my career, because obviously it takes time from the moment in time you sell insurance, from the time you start seeing claims at a significant number, it takes time. And in this particular case, I had sold a policy to a husband and wife living in Oakland, California, in the hood, rough, but they worked at a hospital. They were union workers at a hospital in Oakland. But hey, if you're living in the Bay Area, even if as a husband and wife, you're making $100,000, $100,000 doesn't go very far if you're living in the San Francisco Bay Area. And in this case, this couple was just that. They both worked at a hospital in Oakland. They purchased the policy because they had some life insurance through their work as union members, but they didn't have enough to cover their burial expenses. So they took a policy out and I sold them the policy, 2 policies, roughly $1,400 a year in AP. And 2-3 years went by. I went back, I filled out their memorial guide. I explained to them their policy. And on a trip to Mexico, driving, crossing Nogales at the border, at Nogales, Mexico border, between Nogales and Hermosillo, in Mexico, this husband and wife had a tragic car accident and they both died. Unfortunately, and I hate to be graphic, but I really want to emphasize what we do and the power of what we do. Unfortunately, in Mexico, they were driving at night from Nogales to Hermosillo, going through that stretch, for those of you guys that know what I'm talking about. And there was a dead cow on the road, literally. They hit the car. They hit that dead cow with their car. They instantly both, it was over. Then they died there. It took 2 weeks before they came back to the US. But let me tell you something. In the moment of time, because they died in Mexico, we accepted their Mexican death certificate, and the carrier stepped in, and within 24, 48 hours at most, the beneficiaries, in this case, the children, had the money for mom and dad, plus the accidental rider that came along with it. In this case, an additional 50,000, 100,000 for the husband and wife. And you know what, guys? Talking about death ain't easy. You know, when you have kids and you talk to your kids about it, they don't want to talk about it. No one wants to talk about it. But one of the things of being in the financial industry that I can tell you for a fact is that no matter who you sit down with, what advisor you sit down with, the first question will always be, how are you going to pay for your funeral expenses in the event of? And a lot of people don't have the money. That's why they buy insurance, which is discounted dollars. Because for every penny you invest into an insurance, you're buying discounted dollars. Because remember, when you insure your life, you're insuring it either on a day one basis or you got to have a 2-year waiting period. But on the day that you die, the insurance company is guaranteeing you and your family money on whatever was on that policy. But you know, maybe you're watching this and you're saying this doesn't apply to me. Insurance is an amazing tool to settle this type of issues, final expense especially, because it's easy to qualify for. The underwriting is minimal, 6 to 12 health questions compared to a fully unwritten policy that athletes go, high-level professionals go through. Their underwriting criteria compared to a simplified final expense policy, night and day. Trust me. But the bottom line is that it's easy to apply and that money will be paid out to. And let me show you guys something. For years, I've been paying claims. Thousands and thousands of dollars worth of claims. And here, right here, you can see a list of customers that basically were lost. These are unvested clients. What that means to all of you guys in the agency business, these are insurance agents that lost their vesting with my company for one reason or another. But right here, these are all customers, senior life. Look at that. There you go. A minute. 2000. And you can see the list here. Keep going. These are thousands of applications. And guess what? These people, at their age that they're at, whatever they are, 50s, 60s, 70s, eventually die. And when they die, we come in and pay these policies. And you can see that here. 79, 44, 94, 93. These policies paid for what? A funeral. And for a lot of you guys that are asking yourself, well, what does a funeral cost? Here you go. When you Google what the average funeral costs, this is what you're looking at right here. And what's scary is that if you notice that cremation costs are increasing and burial costs, they're not very different from cremation costs. Back in the day, cremations were a lot cheaper. But if you notice, here you go. Look at the breakdown. 7,000, 8,000, 8,000. In fact, let's take it a step further. Let's look up Lakeport, where my father was buried. Lakeport, California. And this tool right here is a tool that we use with our customers. It's an amazing tool. It helps you figure out how much money you need to cover your burial. And check this out. In Lakeport, when my father passed away, we used Jordan's Mortuary, and they're charging $6,370. If we take a look at the other funeral home locally, Chapel of the Lakes, within 4 or 5 blocks, they're $5,000, $5,105, $1,000 cheaper. This money needs to be paid when we pass away. And a lot of folks don't remember that Social Security, if you guys take a closer look at that, and I want you to take a close look at this, but Social Security only pays $255 when we lose a loved one. $255, guys. $255 is not enough to cover a funeral. Now, let's say you're a veteran. Well, the VA has some benefits for the veterans. Here's the service-related benefit. But let's start here. Effective July 7, 2014, VA is changing its monetary burial benefit regulations to simplify the program and pay eligible survivors more quickly and efficiently. These regulations will authorize the VA to pay, without a written application, most eligible surviving spouse basic monetary burial benefits at the maximum amount authorized in law through automatic systems, rather than reimbursing them through actual costs incurred. This is a good thing. Under the current regulations, the VA pays for burial and funeral expenses on a reimbursement basis, which requires survivors to submit receipts for relatively small one-time payments that the VA generally pays at the maximum amount permitted by law. The new burial regulation will permit the VA to pay at a flat rate burial and plot or interment allowance, thereby enabling the VA to automate payment of burial benefits to most eligible surviving spouses and more efficiently process other burial benefit claims. The burial allowance now for non-service connected death is $300. You guys see that? $300 and $2,000 for a death connected to the military service. This recently changed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really happy to see this change because it's a lot better. And here we continue. Service-related death benefit, $2,000. And non-service related death benefit, and you'll see here, the VA will pay up to $796 toward burial and funeral expenses for deaths on or after October 2019 if hospitalized by a VA at the time of death, or $300 toward the burial and funeral expenses if not hospitalized by the VA at the time of death. Guys, keep an eye out for these key points. And a $796 plot interment allowance if not buried in a national cemetery. Key word, if not buried in a national cemetery. For deaths on or after December 1st, 2001, but before October 1st, 2011, the VA will pay up to $300 toward the burial and funeral expenses and a $300 plot interim allowance for deaths on or after April 1st, 1988, but before October 1st, 2011. The VA will pay $300 toward the burial and funeral expenses, and for veterans hospitalized by the VA at the time of death, key word, the time of death. Guys, this is what our veterans are looking for. Now, regardless of the amount of money that they have committed to paying, right? The bottom line is that people still need that extra cash, that extra money to pay for their funeral costs, plus all the other loose ends. And I want to finalize it with this. You know, the opportunity of selling insurance is amazing. There's an opportunity to help a lot of people in our community establish some insurance so they can cover their cost of losing a loved one. And here's a letter of intent that was sent to me by a gentleman years ago. And this agent really captured the problem that we have. And that is that a lot of people, a lot of Americans don't realize that they need some form of funeral insurance in their life. They just really don't believe they need it. But the reality is that a lot of people end up in the hospital before they die. And healthcare is crazy, and their resources dwindle. And I want to read you guys this letter of intent from an agent that came to work for us a long time ago. And back in the day, we would ask agents, because telesales was, you know, one of those programs that no one wanted to get involved with because of persistency. But the crazy part is we've written thousands of applications and paid thousands of claims. So I'm going to read this to you. The Roman philosopher Seneca is known to have famously said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." These are words that I, as do many others, consider the bedrock on which success is built. Success does not come by a way of some esoteric force that blesses a few while leaving others left out, but rather it is life's reward for tenacity, hard work, and perseverance. A few of the underlying core values at the heart of my personal and professional pursuits. Pride in one's quality of work, regardless of recognition. And it is my belief, the difference between mediocrity and brilliance. Now, this is the agents saying this. According to the U.S. Departments of Labor Statistics, employment of insurance agents is projected to grow 10% from 2016 to 2026, faster than the average for all occupations. In doing my due diligence, the overall economic macro trend revealed itself to be one where more and more of those on the lower end of our socioeconomic levels will find themselves further burdened by the multi-generational debt. Nearly half of seniors die owning less than $10,000 in financial assets. Guys, half die owning less than $10,000 in financial assets. And that's according to a 2012 study for the National Bureau of Economic Research. Meanwhile, debt among older Americans is soaring. It used to be relatively unusual to have a mortgage or credit card debt in retirement. Now, 23% of those older than 75 have mortgages, a fourfold increase since 1989, and 26% have credit card debt, a 159% increase according to the Federal Reserve's latest data from the 2016 survey of consumer finances. The trend is clear. With social safety nets like Social Security on the brink of insolvency, younger generations will find themselves unable to ascend the economic ladder by leveraging generational wealth, as previous generations were able to successfully. Economics and academic pursuit of mine is the study of allocation of a scarce resource. We have infinite desires and wants and only some limited amount of resources to satisfy them. Where, therefore, wish to optimize the production from those scarce resources, the ultimate scarce resource for us mortals is time. How we decide to spend it and with whom we decide to spend it with are the defining characteristics of our life. And it is in our consideration of this and our previously outlined that I can comfortably say that I see no other better way to spend my talents and time than to help contribute to an organization such as yours, one that looks to add value and serve as a bridge between a wanting consumer and a necessary product. In this case, a product designed to offset any financial hardship that can befall on already financially vulnerable segment of the population. As a second-generation immigrant, this is something I can relate to. Given the opportunity and tools, this is a declaration of my formal intent to make use of the system being entrusted to me. Ladies and gentlemen, he broke it down, and that really is the fact. You know, final expense, people need insurance, and for years I've helped thousands of people from all walks of life, from different insurance companies, as you can see, establish this type of coverage. All these years. And at the same time, over all these years, we've paid thousands of claims to good families in some of the poorest neighborhoods. We've done that. And I share this with you guys because a lot of you come here to my channel and you're looking for a career, and we have it for you. Believe me, we do. But at the end of the day, it's important that you understand what it is that we do. And we not just sell insurance, but we pay claims, and I'm proud of that. I'm really am. And to see these people's face, see their reaction when we give them a check. Here you go. Look at this. 7,000, 6,000, 3,000, 10,000, 8,000, 3,000, 15,000. Here's the amount of coverages we're issuing. Look, 5,000, 10,000, 4,000. And a lot of you are looking at what? A policy for 2,000, 3,000, 17 bucks a month. Who would do that? Well, there's a lot of people that see the value in insurance because they don't have the cash. They don't have thousands of dollars in the bank that would step in and pay for a funeral. In this case, $2,000, Harlingen, Texas. Let's look up Harlingen, Texas. Harlingen. $5,900, $6,700, $6,400, $5,300, $5,100. This is what they're charging for a burial in Arlington. Arlington. $2,000 would definitely help towards covering that cost. Brownsville, $5,000. Edinburgh, $30,000, $25,000. And ladies and gentlemen, this is just me talking. This is real. This is real life. And I'm happy to say that we generate thousands of leads of people that are looking for a policy, looking for information. And if you're looking for a career, give me a call. I would love to train you. I'll show you what we do. I'll train you on how to close, how to keep the clients paying, but more importantly, how to service them. You know, every single one of the claims that I've paid over the years, I've always gained more clients. Because again, the reaction of these families when they see this money in their hand, There's no price to that. There just ain't. And that's powerful. And I'm happy to say that I've been a part of that over all these years, and it's motivated me to keep in this business. But also the money to stay in this business is good. So again, if you're looking at a career in final expense, give me a call. Check out my channel. I have leads. I have financing. If you don't have the money, you want me to finance you leads, I'm down. We'll take it out of your commissions, but you will sign a 1099-C. So if you bail on the financing, I'll get you on the 1099-C. So with that said, my friends, I hope you guys have a great Thursday. Stay safe. It's raining cats and dogs in NorCal, but I'm grateful. Call me. If you know anyone that needs insurance, give me a call. I'd be more than happy to help them out. Peace.